Imagine a world where AI fundraises for you. Okay, well, not all of it. Fundraising, by its very nature, is definitely a human's game and always will be. But what if it could help you predict how and when people might donate, or craft inspiring fundraising campaigns and take care of all of the administrative parts of fundraising so you could focus on what's important in your change making efforts? Building relationships.
I think this is one of the most exciting times in history to be a fundraiser. And I can say that as someone who started fundraising when, I had a Rolodex on my desk, and that was essentially the example of how big my network was. We've moved into a new world where we're using data to make decisions. We're using data to predict, behaviors and things like that. But we're moving into an era where AI and big data is fully democratized. It's fully accessible to anyone who is curious and wants to use it. And that's really, really exciting.
In our 14th episode of our Changemaker Cafe Fundraising 101 series, we'll explore how nonprofits and social impact causes are already tapping into AI to help grow their impacts, the dark sides of AI that we've got to navigate carefully as changemakers, and some of the predictions about how we'll be using it in the future to help us raise money that we need to create positive change. As always, you can download our series action guide for resources and tips on fundraising at changemakercafe.com. Thank you to Click and Pledge for sponsoring this series. Ready? Let's get curious. On September 24th, 2024, Hurricane Helene made landfall in the mountains of North Carolina, where thousands of residents would be unprepared for the devastation it would cause. Over the course of a few days, 40 trillion gallons of rain flooded North Carolina's mountain towns, bringing one of the heaviest rainfalls in the state's history. In the wake of the storm, nonprofits and disaster organizations took action, engaging in rescue and aid efforts and struggling to navigate treacherous road conditions. These efforts faced a number of monumental problems, but one of the biggest was how could they find the areas most impacted and the people who most needed help? Enter AI. Using an artificial intelligence tool, the nonprofit Give Directly identified areas with the worst storm damage and the highest concentrations of poverty. Using that data, the organization invited residents of those areas to enroll in a relief program and sent each family $1,000 for urgent needs. With the help of AI, changemakers in nonprofits, social enterprises, and other organizations are predicting disease outbreaks to deliver life-saving preventative care, matching surplus food from grocery stores that would have been tossed out to local food banks, and helping international volunteers communicate information to help refugees find safety. These innovations are huge, but AI is also helping changemakers streamline their day-to-day fundraising too. And because it's so affordable, it's leveling the playing field, making it easier for newer or smaller social impact organizations to build capacity too. Not everyone is on board though. According to a recent report by the AI Equity Project, 92% of nonprofits say they feel unprepared for AI. That's a concern, experts say, because organizations that adopt AI effectively are positioned to outperform those that don't in a matter of years. Sometimes getting familiar with how things work can help us build our skills as fundraisers and change makers in general. And that's the whole point of these videos, isn't it? So I want us to take a look at some of the ways that AI is being used to fundraise today. One of the top use cases is generative AI, which is AI that can help create new content like text, images, video, and more. In fundraising, tools like ChatGPT or Claude are helping fundraisers draft emails, donor appeal letters, and even impact reports.
So I'm seeing a lot of content generation. I'm seeing a lot of people using it to help write their their letters, their cases, their grant requests. I'm also beginning to see a lot more, although not as many, but really look at how they can leverage it for data analytics and predictive analysis. And then keeping with the generative AI, they're using it for images and video, and even you can even create your own theme song with AI now.
Another AI use case, which Joanne just mentioned, is data analysis and predictive analytics. With the help of AI, fundraisers can segment donors into giving habits or other characteristics and predict which donors might be able to make larger donations and develop larger scale fundraising strategies.
Now, I have on my laptop, I've downloaded a private version of Llama. So it doesn't touch the internet. So it's safe. It's very safe because data privacy is a huge thing. So now I can take their donor data and I can put it into this model and ask it based on that data to make some predictions for me. I can ask it things like, what's the average gift amount? They don't have a fundraising platform that gives them this data. So I can ask them what the average gift amount is. I can get it to help me do some trend analysis, some future predictions in terms of, if we launched a campaign based on this, we targeted these donors, what do you predict that the results are going to be? So it's just amazing what it can do with data. Now, I've used it personally for personas, for persona work, where I've sent out surveys, taken the survey results back, thrown it into a language model, and had it do some predictive work for me or some analysis.
And third, let's talk about using AI for automation. Fundraisers have a lot on their plate. They need to build and maintain relationships with a lot of people, create written or visual materials, write grants, track trends, and oversee events, just to name a few things.
I oversaw fundraising in events for a majority of my career. And in 20 years of fundraising, I never met an employee who woke up and said, you know what? I am so excited for today. Today is the best day of the whole year because I can write all the auction descriptions for our gala that's coming up. In all my time, I've never met a person who was just like looking forward to that day. It's such a mundane task. It's not creative, but it needs to get done, right? So you're just, all these, things that are in this auction basket, and you've got to write this like fluffy, piece that, kind of gets people to bid on that. And it started with this idea that you can say, okay, generative AI, write me a description for this auction basket that contains some gift cards and whatever. And it does a very good job at that. But then I had a donor relations person come to me and said, you know what I did? I just took all of the items for the basket. I put them on the table. I took a photo of it. I loaded that photo into ChatGPT and I had it write me the description. It was able to identify all the items and able to put this together in the language that, was going to be appealing. Those are some of my and there's like thousands of those examples of finding tasks that are repeatable, that, anything that you're going to do 2 or 3 times ever probably could be done faster and more efficiently through AI.
No matter where your efforts take you, you need a fundraising platform that can handle a variety of situations, like the sponsor of our Fundraising 101 series, Click and Pledge. Click and Pledge is a comprehensive fundraising platform for nonprofits ready to raise money and grow those impacts. Their robust fundraising features include donation forms, in-person fundraising, text to give, peer-to-peer fundraising so you can send out your supporters and audiences to go form teams and raise money from their friends and their networks, video fundraising with donation links embedded directly in your videos, donor outreach tools to improve retention, a complete Salesforce integration and other integrations, and a lot of other features too. Some platforms charge more based on your organization's size or the size of your donor base, but not Click and Pledge. The pricing is going to stay the same even as your organization grows. And there are no contracts, and all of their solutions are included at no extra cost. You can learn more about Click and Pledge's fundraising solutions and get your first month free using the links that I'm going to leave below this video. You can get in touch with their team to ask any questions that you have, schedule a demo, or sign up to give it a try right now if you're ready. Like I said, the links to all that will be below this video. It's true, AI has saved fundraisers hours and hours of time helping create content, analyze data, and automate small tasks. But that doesn't mean AI can be or should be used without guardrails. In addition to feelings of unpreparedness or uncertainty, nonprofit and social impact leaders are worried about the ethical implications of using AI in fundraising, especially without careful security measures in place. 70%, for example, are concerned about data privacy and security for their donors and members. 63% worry about accuracy, and 57% are concerned about biases that AI could develop and tap into when generating content.
So responsible AI at first looks very different for the nonprofit sector than it does anywhere else. The nonprofit sector operates in what we consider the currency of trust. We don't sell products or services. That essentially trust is, as we know, hard won and easily lost. So our orientation around AI has to look different essentially than Microsoft or Amazon or Google or Nike or AT&T, because we don't fall back on what those products and services are. In those cases, there could be an organization that maybe is, has unethical practices, but you really like Nike, so you're still going to buy a pair because they fit your foot the best, or you like AT&T phones. The nonprofit sector has and only has essentially this currency of trust. And so that means that when we're talking about responsible AI, it should be the primary orientation of an organization, that the single question that determines whether or not your organization uses AI and how it uses AI is whether the AI that you're evaluating or building promotes and protects trust. And that's, as difficult and as easy as it can get.
What does the future of AI hold for fundraising and social impact work? It's too early to know for sure, but experts like Nathan and Joanne and others predict AI is only going to get exponentially better from here. The prediction? Organizations and individual fundraisers that don't adopt it in some form or fashion risk getting left behind.
There was a bunch of us talking about this, that if it goes the way we think it's going to go with AI, that now it's going to be part of the job description, that you are familiar with it, that you can do those analytics, you can do those predictions, that you know how to use it and use it responsibly, that could very well be part of the new job description.
I want to hear what you think, though. What do you predict the future of AI in fundraising and social impact will be? I'd love to hear your ideas, so share those in the comments below. In our next and final video in our Fundraising 101 series, we'll take a look at some of the most creative and innovative approaches to fundraising out there and ponder, what can we learn from them? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it, and catch up on our previous episodes in our series playlist too. I'll see you for the next episode of Changemaker Cafe.